What's going on today, guys? It's GLG James along with,
GLG Dan.
And GLG Garret.
and today we've got kind of something a little bit different for you guys. With the recent release of all of the OP10 leaders, we thought we'd make a video for you guys, kind of breaking down what our thoughts are, what we think are going to be really good and maybe even meta relevant, and some of the decks that we think are just kind of missing the marker. Maybe won't be as meta relevant. Maybe still fun strategies, but not necessarily meta relevant. So, going into it, it's just there's 6 leaders that got released, guys.
Oh, six. Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
exciting. A lot of the leader abilities they're pretty unique. Never seen before. So really excited to see what kind of support comes out with it. They leaked a very few amount of cards, but all the leaders are out now, so pretty excited to go over those.
Yeah, a lot of red, which will be cool to see some good red support. I feel like it's
Oh
been a
yeah.
while. So that'll be cool. That'll be cool.
Yeah, and I kind of feel like with this set, they're really trying to buff multicolor leaders again, right? Because I think right now in the format and in the meta, we're really noticing a lot of monocolor leaders just really shining, right? You have the
Yeah,
Shanks
they're
that's
just
kind of going off. We have that Dofi that's kind of going off, right? And the fact of having 5 life really comes up, really puts you at a
it's
really good
huge, man.
advantage. Yeah.
One less card in hand,
Hmm.
one less life to or one less damage to take. It adds up, man. It adds up.
Yeah. Especially with such like decks having such strong late game right now.
Mm,
If you think about like Bonnie or an O9, like stuff like Shanks, um, you kind of need to be able to survive later on. And 4 life leaders, you just have a way harder time doing that.
yeah,
Exactly. Yeah,
absolutely.
like a perfect example is set eight that just came out. Like none of those leaders are popular at all right now, or
Yeah.
not necessarily popular, but like not meta relevant. They all died
Right.
easily. King, people were excited about King, excited about Marco and Pudding, but you barely see any of those. Let alone like Pudding might be the only one, but very rarely do you see it topping that much. Also, just a reminder too, shout out to Dueling Guard. We got some of their gear here too, as well as the new deck box that just came in for me. Zoro, super sweet. Great inside, right? This one is the XL version, so this one fits 2 double sleeve decks. I got, Trafalgar Law and Bonnie in here, but it's super sweet, great product. They also have these playmats as well. Just gotta whip out the Zoro playmat we just got too. Super great quality, super high quality. Remember, just use code GLG at checkout to get 5% off.
So getting into it, guys, we're gonna go over just kind of the breakdown of the OPO10 leaders or OP10 leaders. If you haven't seen them already, these are the leaders here. So you got Law, Usopp, Cesar Clown, Sugar, Kid, and also Smoker. So these are the ones that have all been released, and then from here on, we'll kind of go deeper and see what our thoughts are, and kind of also break down what the abilities are of the leaders. So starting off, we have Usopp.
All right. Usopp, the GOAT. So Usopp's 4 life, black, blue, Dressrosa, and Straw Hat. So he's going to have a similar effect to the starter deck Luffy that gives everything +1 cost, except it's going to be for your 2 cost or greater Dressrosa characters. So I think right off the bat, just from that, I don't love like the current Dressrosa um, package. I think the benefit is maybe giving like Rebecca +1, Sabo +1, stuff like that. But I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Do you feel like that's better than having Straw Hat +1?
I I think it helps out a little bit. I think the Dressrosa package. I think all this stuff that's coming out, they're also trying to boost the OG Rebecca leader at the
Yeah,
same time. I do wish though it was Dressrosa slash Straw Hat, but I don't
yeah,
know if there's too many Straw Hat cards that are kind of relevant. I mean, there's some of the promo blues, and then you have obviously the black Straw Hat stuff that are coming out. That came out prior to it, and also came out recently. So
Yeah,
yeah.
and
Just the Sanji I think would be nice. Because
this
you don't need a
new,
Dawn attach, so being able if you could play that out on 5 Dawn, that'd
sure,
be
yeah,
super
it's gonna be
nice.
nice.
yeah, and I
Yeah,
think
or just
too.
not even have to rely on that Dawn commitment in general with that
Exactly.
Yeah,
weird.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was about to say. Yeah, just a Dawn commitment, not having to worry about that. And also, just as we know, right, blue and black are like there's such good synergy between those two combinations, right? They have the what's that? The Hound Blaze. right? It's such an effective
Hmm.
event that paired so well with Sakazuki, right? That didn't have, doesn't really have any requirements in order to activate it. You get the cost down ability with black, so there's definitely a lot of good cards to use. I just want to know if they're. I just wonder if they're going to really stick with that Dressrosa, which they kind of have to in order to really get the benefit of the elite ability, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
actually do like the fact that it is the Dressrosa because now it's like,
Hmm.
oh, now you got to shy away from the Navy stuff,
Exactly.
from the Thriller Bark stuff. It opens up different mechanics for the game and different options instead of everyone playing brand new and Kuzan and Borsellino and all those guys.
Yeah, and it kind of soft leader locks some of these other cards we'll talk about, but which is kind of nice too, right? Let's talk about the second effect. So, opponent's turn once per turn. This effect may be activated when one of your Dressrosa type characters are removed from the field by your opponent's effect or are KO'd. If you have fiberless cards in your hand, draw one card. This is pretty solid,
Mm.
you know?
Oh yeah,
Like, you're already getting the +1 cost, and then just being anti-removal, any kind of removal, right? Um,
yeah, even
is
battle
pretty,
removal, insane.
yeah. So being able to draw a card, I feel like makes up for the fact that he's a 4 life leader.
Hmm. Yeah, because
Yeah,
you're
I
going to be
think it.
sitting behind a
Yeah,
large card pool of cards in your hand, right? We see the viability of it, and what was it in Boa? How powerful Boa is just getting that hand size over, and then also too, like
Hmm.
we're in such a heavy removal format, right? Where an ability like this is definitely gonna shine. Like where there's what Lucci that's going crazy, um, even Dovey with the gravity blades and all that stuff, and all the other removal that it has available to it as well. It's gonna be really viable for sure.
the I think the fact that since it's a 4 life leader, so now you're not as hesitant to start pitching a bunch of cards early game now, where it's
Hmm.
that's the only way to survive as a 4 life leader. You got to pitch a lot of cards early, um, and now you no longer get punished for that. Now that you have the fact that you can start drawing cards, sitting at 4 cards in hand or 5 cards, it really helps you stay alive a lot longer against these late game decks that Garrett was talking about earlier.
Yeah. And then I'm not sure if I'm reading this right, but it says or KO'd. So I mean, if they swing over your character, are you drawing a card?
I believe so.
Yeah, I believe
Yeah.
so.
Because that's pretty epic.
Right.
Hmm.
Isn't that like imagine like you just have Rebecca 4 cost 0 power Rebecca block, and then they KO with just a swing, and then boom, I draw a card.
Yeah, that's so good.
Nice. That's kind of
Yeah,
good.
that's actually really
Yeah,
good. Yeah,
And
and
now
then
they have to
yeah, a
think
lot of
twice about
value.
going for board, and it's like, okay, maybe now I got to think about, oh, okay, maybe I don't swing into the character uh, when they have 5 or less, or like, okay, maybe I swing in the character they have 7 cards, and then Usopp decides to pitch
Yeah,
2 cards to counter out and save it, and you're like, okay, well now he's gonna get the card back.
yeah.
Kind
It's
of
kind of
valid.
like it kind of is similar to how Bonnie makes you play around their swings.
Mm,
Not quite as good, right? But like you have to swing at the character that you want to get rid of the most first, right? Instead of poking, right? Because if you poke and they just let it go, draw a card, draw that 2K they need, and then counter out of whatever they want to save.
yep,
So yeah,
insane.
that's pretty solid. I think Usopp's got a lot of potential for sure.
Do you think that there's viability running low cost blockers now in this deck? Now
Mm,
mm.
that the fact that you can draw cards, you just put out the low cost blocker. If they pop it with an effect, or you just use it to just draw a card, gain card advantage. I think that
right.
might be a move now. It might be more beneficial to run those lower cost blockers. Just a quick thought.
Yeah, I mean, let's say like, dude, even if you go like Rebecca and then play out like a Bartolomeo, if they swing into it, you draw a card. So it's kind of like you're just plussing off it.
It's
And if
insane.
they don't, then you get double blocker or like Rebecca Hina. I don't know, stuff like that. Um, yeah, I like it. I like it. All right, let's talk about the first support card. I think this is the first one that was announced was the Rebecca. So 7 cost, 4K power, Dressrosa with a 1K counter, which is solid. Um, on play, if there's a cost 8 or greater, draw a card, then reveal up to 2 7 cost or lower Dressrosa, other than Rebecca from your hand, play one active. Then if the other has a cost of 4 or lower, play it rested.
Quite the mouthful.
Uh, yeah, kind of a weird, crazy effect, but um, like I was saying too, kind of soft leader lock to Usopp, right? Um, you got to play Dressrosa stuff, and then you have to have a cost 8 or greater. So I think playing this out on curve is pretty gnarly.
No other blue deck or deck that has access to blue can play this on curve. It's just
Right.
impossible.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The other thing is too, like this is what Gecko probably should have been, right?
Yeah.
Something along
Yeah,
the lines of this.
with the
A s-
4K stat line.
yeah, or like a soft leader lock, right? Versus being able to play
Yeah.
anything.
Exactly. Should have
Right.
Yeah.
punished him not to throw the board, but
Exactly,
oh
but
well. What can you
hmm
do?
and
I do like though that this one cannot play Rebecca out because
yeah,
that'd be actually insane if you could put the forecast Rebecca as well on
hmm
top of it. So much
Yeah.
value.
Yeah, that would be super good. But I think just the fact that it's a 4K power just like it almost makes it a lot worse,
hmm
right? Um, but you're drawing when you play it, so it replaces itself,
hmm
and then you can play out things like the Luffy. Um, if you have stage, you can attack with both the turn they're played if you want. Um, for cause, I mean, I can't think of a ton right now. Just the Bart,
Yeah,
maybe,
there's that one
or Lumbus.
Orlumbus. Yeah, Orlumbus comes to mind.
Kiros.
The Kairos, yeah, the
Yeah,
Kairos. Maybe mainly the Orlumbus coming out is pretty good.
Yeah,
I was thinking you could combine it with the next card we're looking at, and then the Orlumbus, but
yeah,
the Orlumbus is activate main, which is like kind of messes the timing up.
it does.
yeah. Some sort of cost down. Probably, I assume there's going to be some
Mhm.
sort of cost down support because the 3 cost Kyros is uh locked to Rebecca leader.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah. But he's
unfortunately,
not locked to Rebecca leader. I'm pretty sure the stage isn't Coliseum.
hmm
no, it's not.
Yeah.
Dude, I
It's
think that's like
it's
it's gonna
Dressrosa
make this
locked.
deck is crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's
yeah, and some of the support is it kind of hints at the fact that you might need a stage.
yeah.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I
And
think
with,
if we
you could
rotate
run
the deck,
that
that'd
or the
be
straw
better.
hat.
mhm. Another thing is too that they could play out would be the one-legged soldier, right? One-legged toy soldier.
Oh,
You could
true,
play that
true.
out, right? Get some additional
Yeah,
reduction, and then you could do some other kind of crazy things
Some
too as
crazy
well. Yeah,
combinations, yeah.
depending upon, right?
interesting.
hmm
Yeah,
I never even thought
I
about
am
that.
I am happy that it doesn't grab from trash. I'm glad it's not free. You're losing technically you're gonna lose 3 cards from this, but I guess it does help out though because Usopp's leader ability draws you a card back.
hmm
So
Right.
you kind of want to be in one of those kind of situations to be able to drop this.
Exactly. So, kind of
Yeah.
moving on to it, kind of the main target that they kind of release with it is this the Kairos or Kyros character, the 7-drop 1. Uh, 7 cost character, 9,000 power, and then on play returns a cost 5 or lower character to its owner's hand.
I like returning to hand um, up to a point, right? Because I think anything lower than a 5 cost, returning it to hand, you're not really getting a lot of value off it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think 5 cost is a good range. There's a lot of good 5 cost characters out there. You think about Purple Luffy, um, they're gonna play the Sangoro, blocker kid and stuff. Um, Bonnie's like full of 5 cost.
For sure.
Um, I think Shanks has like the Yasup. I think it's 5.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
And also too, it's yes, it's a 5 cost, but the leader's also blue black. So if you have a Orlumbus on board already, you go -4 off of a character, and then go ahead and play this guy out. You bounce a 9, which is
Sheesh.
Yeah,
kind of insane.
Yeah.
Or let alone if you run Ice Age, you bounce a 10. That's kind of nasty.
Yeah.
that is pretty good. And then the
hmm
stat line, just being a 9K
hmm
swing next
Oh yeah.
turn is pretty good. And then with leader effect, he's at 8 cost.
Yeah.
So
And you're pumping this out along with pumping out another 7 cost body, right? So I mean, they don't. It doesn't really put that much pressure because it's a 4,000 power, the Rebecca. However,
right.
it's 2 7 cost bodies, so no deck's gonna be able to clear out 2 7s on curve, right?
Let
They just
alone because their boost. Oh, is the boost only during your turn, or is it all the entire time? For
All the time.
oh, they're not even 7 costs. They're 8 costs.
costs. Yeah,
Yeah.
Nasty.
exactly. So they're not getting cleared
Yeah.
by a freaking Lucci or whatever, a black deck or any power or cost reduction or cost KO kind of deck. So it's gonna be
Yeah.
nasty, absolutely. And just the tempo shift, getting 2 bodies on board, 3 actually, 3 bodies on
Yeah.
board, right, while still clearing one of theirs. It's gonna be great.
Yeah. And I think this kind of board swarm is definitely what Usopp's going to want to do.
Mhm.
Because it's going to make the opponent focus on board, and then Usopp will stay healthy and just keep drawing cards from the KOs and the removal. So I imagine it's going to have to run some pretty gnarly late game.
Yeah.
Definitely going to be utilizing Gecko Moria in some way.
Yeah, no
Um,
matter what, it's gonna
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
coming out. There's no stopping that.
Ooh, 9 drop Sanji into Gecko.
Ooh, oh, 9 drop Sanji into
Yeah,
Rebecca,
or into
into
Rebecca.
Kyros.
Into Kyros. Oh my
Ooh,
gosh. Ew. Hold
ew.
up. Ew.
Thankfully, this deck doesn't have any kind of stacking. If it had some kind of stacking, this would be kind of insane.
I mean, you simply
Yeah,
just put those cards in there, Add in the,
yeah.
what was it? The, Marshall D. Teach.
Ooh. Oh,
Spicy, I know. Let it
all
eat.
right,
Let it
all
eat.
right. And
That's a whole
then,
discussion for another video.
so let's talk about Leo. This is one of the searchers they announced. So obviously you have the Rebecca searcher, but you can't search out Rebecca,
Rebecca.
which is, I mean, you're going to be playing the 7 drop.
Four
Assumably
drop.
you're
Yeah.
playing the blocker. Yeah. So
You
this
want to see
one,
Rebecca.
so it's locked to Usopp, and on play you have to rest either your leader or a stage. So I don't know. Turn one, not a big deal, right? Because you could rest your leader.
Mhm.
Mhm.
But if you don't get stage out, this card's gonna kind of stink.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, I also think too. It's like it's really making you. It's really forcing you to run Dressrosa strict in Usopp because for the effect it says reveal up to 2 cards. So if you whiff on one, you have to trash 1 card from your hand, no matter
Hmm.
what, even if you only reveal 1 or 2. And so it's really forcing deck builds to be Dressrosa reliant or Dressrosa strict, especially.
Yeah,
Because you're gonna want to you're going to want to benefit off of it, right? You want to get the plus off of it. Because adding 2 cards, oh my gosh, that's so stinking nasty, bro.
Yeah. Let alone if you whiff the
yeah,
entire thing, you just lose a card in your hand. You lose two
Exactly.
cards
Yeah,
because you
two
played a
cards.
character and trashed a character. Trash a card.
Gosh, yeah, exactly. So it's
yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
So
definitely good cycle though because of you can trash that Coliseum if you run extras of
Yeah,
it, which is
yeah,
good.
exactly.
that's true. That's true.
So I like it. I mean, it's a way to fill your trash. Turn one, it's gonna be good. Um, you're probably playing Coliseum. So I don't know.
Yeah,
Drawing
it's
two,
balanced.
trashing one's always good. Yeah,
Cycles the hand. Cycles the hand, and you're gonna be drawing a
yeah,
bunch of different cards, using Usopp ability too. So it's kind of like you're gonna eventually draw cards you don't need. So then just cycle them out. You know.
exactly. This was the Frankie. So it's a 4 cost blocker. When KO'd, play up to 1 3 cost or lower Dressrosa from your trash. Rested. This is pretty good.
Yeah.
Not even gonna lie.
Yeah. Paired with the Usopp, so you're gonna
Yeah,
draw off the KO already, right, with the block, and then
yeah,
you're also gonna play out another character. Yeah,
yeah,
it's
Yeah,
gonna
and
be
then you could
nasty.
play the Leo to search off of this too as
yeah,
well.
Oh my
And then if
yeah,
gosh.
you have a stage, you just rest the stage, and then boom, you're plusing. Just insane.
Oh my
yeah. So then
gosh.
you're drawing 3, trashing 1.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
Pretty
And
solid on your
unfortunately,
opponent's turn.
yeah.
it's Gecko target
And
too.
it's a gecko
Yeah,
target.
And it's a Gecko target.
it has to be.
Yeah.
Has to be.
I guess so. Oh man, that's solid. And like I said, I love how this is Dressrosa, and I love how it's Straw Hat, right? So that we're like veering away from all of that, the navy stuff and all that too. It's just nice to, it's really supporting the deck it's meant to.
And then it also supports Black Luffy as well. It
Exactly.
might make more versions that run that stage that boost Straw Hats only, because the
Hmm.
Straw Hat package might get even
Yeah.
stronger after this.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, you could even run instead of running the Navy package in Black Luffy, you could start to run a Dressrosa package.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And, there's still plenty of support. So,
Yeah, because that 7 cost Luffy is Dressrosa and Straw Hat, the one from set 4.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. So,
Just
yeah.
adds to it.
We
Yeah.
don't know how well it's gonna work, but yeah,
Yeah, no, but just like you're saying,
essentially.
yeah, like you're saying though, Dan, that freaking or Frankie into Leo into all that is just that's
A whole
that's
lot of
that's a whole
cards.
jar, that's a whole can of worms right there.
Yeah.
You're plussing 2 cards technically because you draw 1 card and then
Yeah.
you add 2 more and then trash one, so you have
Hmm.
got 2. It's kind
Yeah.
of nuts.
I wonder how difficult the math is gonna be in the sense to like keep that hand size at 5, right? So that you still get the draws
I don't know. I think
off
it's
of
fairly
ability.
easy. I think if you're
Think so?
countering out early, like the
Yeah.
strat countering out early, you're gonna be low on hand size. And
Anyway.
5 is not super hard. If it was 4, I can see okay, that's gonna be tough. But 5
Hmm.
is like pretty standard. I feel like.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, that's solid. That's a solid number.
Yeah.
Definitely. So
All in all, what are you guys grading Usopp out of 5?
I'd give it a
4, you think?
4.
Yeah, I give it a
Yeah.
I think
4.
4 is pretty
4.
solid
Yeah.
based upon the
It
support
has
now.
yeah. It has potential for sure, but it's gonna need I think it's gonna need a little more.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And the fact that these
We'll
are just
see.
the ones they've released now, right? I mean, there's still a
Yeah.
whole plethora of cards. We went over what 4 cards out
Yeah.
of an entire
It
Yeah.
set.
has 2 color pools to pull from, black and
Yeah.
blue. The sets
Hmm.
dropping. So
Hmm.
Exactly. And there's already such good generic black cards already. The Gecko, the Ice Age. If they're trashing that much, honestly, probably Tempest Kick. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
They have Barrier, right? That's a Dressrosa counter event, right? Isn't
yeah,
that's just like
Yeah.
a
yeah. There's a
Rad
whole
Beam?
plethora of Dressrosa stuff that's good that's never seen play because Rebecca's never been good. So
Exactly.
I'm excited to see what's gonna
Exactly.
happen there.
Yeah.
Exactly. Absolutely. So, moving on to the next. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, I guess grade wise, I'll give it a 4. We all agree across the board with
Yep,
4.
4 stars.
Yeah.
Hmm.
4 stars is
Four
Yeah.
solid.
stars. So, moving on to the
Good for a
next.
4 life leader.
Yeah.
4 stars for 4 life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, moving on to the next leader, we have Sugar. It's a red purple leader. I know you can't really tell by the photo here, but this is the one that they gave us. 4 life leader, 5,000 power. Don Quixote family, and then the ability is at the end of your turn, if you have a character with Don Quixote Pirates in the typing with a power of 6,000 power or more, set one of your Don as active. And then on your opponent's turn, once per turn, when an event is activated, set up to one of your Dawn from your Dawn deck as active. So it has that ramping esque effect of purple that we're all familiar with, and also kind of has that restanding Dawn ability at the end of your turn, similarly to Grape Dofi, right? It's not 2 Dawn, so it is 1. So there's some stuff that I'm sure there's some shenanigans they can pull off with that. And I think this one's just going to be mainly, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is going to be really dependent upon what events they produce for this leader. Because right now the only events that were Don Quixote family or Don Quixote typing were green, right? So it's going to be interesting to
Hmm.
see what they have
There's
as
no color pool, no existing Don Quixote stuff that it can use
yeah,
right now, at the moment, which is weird.
Yeah. They
absolutely,
did release one like one cost search event
yeah, yeah. But
that's
that,
like the main slash counter,
mhm,
Exactly.
but
It's like the
that's it.
green one that came out for that set when it first dropped. But all in all, though,
Yeah.
this leader is very underwhelming at the moment
yeah,
with the lack of. I don't know, just the fact that you have to set a Dawn active, you have to have a 6,000 power character on board. Like,
hmm,
that's so late into the game. And then, I don't know. I do think, though, like, maybe people would consider whether or not they want to swing into your life because you have a Dawn active and you're going to set a ramp a Dawn. And so maybe
Hmm.
that's why, like, you can have people starve you as a 4 life leader, which is really good. So you
hmm,
don't die as fast. I can see
hmm.
that. but it really just depends.
Yeah, and then you also don't have, you don't have 10 drop Dofi, right? You don't have,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
There's just no real, at least as of yet that they've released, there's just nothing that big that they can really play right now. And then also too, like kind of like Dan was saying, um, setting one Dawn active, at the end of your turn with 6,000 power, that's a pretty big, it's a pretty steep criteria. And I think what like oh no, Diamante's even green, so you can't even play the Diamante. I was thinking like for
There's
abilities.
literally no
Yeah,
card pool
there's
right now
none.
at the moment for the deck.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
So
Yeah, I
definitely.
think maybe if it wasn't leader locked
Hmm.
to, or typing locked to Don Quixote Pirates,
Hmm.
I could see it maybe having
more
potential.
availability, right? Yeah. So
But
I'm
But
yeah,
thinking like, what are you turboing to? You turboing to what? 10 cost Shanks, and
true.
what else? What other purple 10 costs is there?
Oh,
Kaido Big
Kaido.
Mom maybe?
Yeah.
What?
10
I don't
drop
know,
Luffy,
man.
Gear 5 Luffy.
That,
I don't know. You want to turn skip,
ooh, that'd
but
be weird.
that would be.
That'd be
So
weird.
yeah. So doing that, and then two. Where are we going with this? Yeah, it just needs all of that, and just there's just nothing for it. And at the end of the day, it's like okay, they're producing purple Dofi support. Why don't you just play Grape Dofi? You get two Dawn active
Yeah,
every single turn for free, right? And then you don't get the
yeah,
ramping, but I mean you get two Dawn active restand for free, and then like I said, better card pool overall as of right now, right? Because I think that's pulling
yeah.
from what two sets, contrary to this one's probably only going to pull from one set. So there's
Hmm.
inherently it's going to have more cards.
Yeah, and I think it's just a gimmicky effect.
Yeah.
Um, I feel like the deck's gonna consist of a bunch of one cost events and then a bunch of top end
Hmm.
and a bunch of blockers.
Yeah.
And like I could see it now. It just sometimes when you hit the God curve, it's like feels like the best deck ever. But nine
Yeah.
times out of ten, you're not, and it's just not good. So
Yeah. I think GLG Dan was talking about a while back when this card got released. The animal package, right?
yeah,
Using the shut up and
yeah,
come
I
with
forgot
us.
about. Yeah, that event, right? You just spam out a bunch of choppers and then
Yeah.
ramp.
Yeah. Just keep ramping.
But I mean, why do that when you could just play Zoro, man?
yeah,
Exactly.
There's
true.
really no
Once
point.
again,
But
what are you ramping to,
cool
right?
concept though. Yeah, what are
Yeah.
you ramping?
What are you ramping to?
We're really gonna see some
Yeah.
support, but I
Get
think we
there
got
so
like
fast
a
for
couple
what?
cards that came out for this.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So we'll see. We'll see. Definitely moving forward. It's definitely a support reliant deck as of right now. So overall, as a grade, I would give this like a 2 out of 5.
2 out of 5.
Right.
yeah.
I'll put a little
I mean,
I
asterisk next
maybe
to it.
a 1.82. I'll give it a 1.82.
1.82.
It's very underwhelming.
yeah.
I think it'd be a 1.82 if it couldn't attack. I think those are the bad ones.
I just think that even if it gets like good support, it's just too gimmicky to
Yeah.
ever be like meta relevant.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't know
So
if there's any kind of support to come out for that deck to make it good, just
Yeah.
because of
yeah,
how bad the leader ability is.
yeah.
Yeah, it's not one of the better ones. So, moving forward, we have some of the support for it that they did release. This one's the Senor Pink. It's a 5/6. And then on play, Dawn -1. You can add one purple event card with a cost of 5 or less from your trash to your hand, then set up one of your Dawn as active. So essentially, it's kind of a 4/6, not necessarily a 5/6 because you go minus and then you plus it. With a
Mm.
kid on board, a 5-drop kid or a pudding, or
The
you can
pudding,
you
yeah,
can get it back. That'd be kind of fire. So you get two back essentially, and then this is just gonna be the support that it gets, adding back whatever sort of event that it's gonna be running. The fact of a
I'm
5 cost event though makes me think like, what the heck, like, what are we
Well, I mean,
adding?
you could add, right, and this is green purple Dofi. You could
True.
add that 5 cost event, ramp it Dawn active, and then you're up to 3 again. You have 3 Dawn active at the end of your
yeah.
turn.
But that's a green event.
Yeah.
Oh, that is, huh?
Oh yeah. So you
Oh,
can't even do
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
yeah,
cut what I said. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
So
we'll see though. I
we'll
mean,
see.
I guess with the sugar leader, you're technically getting 2 Dawn active at the end of your turn, if you wanted to play it like that, which is it's okay. I'm just don't know, only because like in the past history of One Piece, event counters have never been that strong. and it's never been that crazy where it's like if the deck was based upon events, the deck is insane. Like it's never been like that. It's just the fact
Exactly.
that there's no body established with it. You lose a card in hand and you just defend. It's okay. It's not nothing great. All right. Our next leader here is Smoker. It's a red green leader, and then it's a 4 life leader as well. It's 5,000 power, Punk Hazard, and Navy. The effect reads: Your opponent's turn, your characters with Navy or Punk Hazard trait gain 1,000 power. And then the main is once per turn. If you have a character with 7,000 power or more, set 2 Dawn cards as active. So for this one we have no support that's come out yet or released for it, but I'm a little excited. I think the concept of setting Dawn as active during your turn is it's been pretty slept on for leader abilities. I know there was a Wano leader that did have capabilities of restating Dawn, but as the cost of trashing a card in your hand. But for this one to be free, as long as you have a 7,000 power character, I think it opens up a lot of room for some strong plays potentially.
And I think too with this, yeah, you're getting essentially double support, right? You're going to be getting red navy or green navy support, and then you're also going to be getting punk hazard support that we've seen from the other leaders that are going to be available. So you're going to get a larger card pool of support, contrary to the other leaders that are going to be there, right? And then kind of like you're saying, we see the viability of restanding 2 Dawn in Cavendish. How powerful that is, right,
Mm-hmm.
within the bonding strategies. I think with this too, it's gonna be it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be a still 4 life leader, so it's still gonna have its troubles of
Yeah, it
getting to
still
that
has
late
that
game.
main weakness. It's gonna
Exactly,
die fast.
exactly.
Unless you're running like counter events in the deck, but even then, that's like a lot. Like events, like we just talked about it before. Events aren't very strong. Like you can set
Exactly.
2 Dawn active, save them up for your opponent's turn, but maybe this version will incorporate a lot of blockers. And since everyone gets a boost for 1,000 power, you can really run a blocker heavy deck and defend really well. It really just depends.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a pretty solid mid-range deck.
It's
I'm
really up in the
excited to
air.
see the Perona support that comes with the maybe some Green Navy.
Some green navy, right? So Corona green black
Yeah,
Corona, and also green black Show too.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
There's some spikes going on in the card market right now because people are kind of considering, wait, maybe this deck is actually good if green navy support comes out. So
yeah.
it's really interesting. I'm excited to see if there's some new changes in those versions of the deck, especially Piranha. Piranha, I'm excited.
And that plus one
Yeah.
K is gonna come up for sure. That
Mm-hmm.
makes the math so much weirder. On those
Mm-hmm.
4 5s are actually 4 6s, those 5 6s or 5 7s. It's gonna really force people to have to invest Dawn where they don't want to.
Exactly. Also, too, was it the activate main ability? You technically you can attach Dawn if you're able
Mm-hmm.
to attach rest to Dawn. So if what if you ran the rest of Dawn like Nami's in the deck, or oh, you know what, that Monet that's coming out?
Yeah,
You
the
attach it
Monet.
to a
Yeah.
5 cost, and
Yep.
then it boosts it
That's
to 7. Then you could stand 2 Dawn.
that's exactly it.
So you maybe you could do it a little earlier
Yeah.
than expected until you're waiting till you're 5 or 6 Dawn.
Well, yeah, that's true. You don't necessarily need just a base 7K
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
character. You
you
could that.
gotta be
Yeah,
five.
okay. Okay, I see it.
That's a
Yeah, I
little bit
see it.
better than I thought. Yeah, so
Yeah, well,
no,
actually, all right.
Yeah.
yeah, because that
Okay.
Monet that's coming out, we're gonna review it later, but it's basically it's attached to Rested Dawn, and then if you have Rested Dawn
Yeah,
now, you're gonna also attach a Rested Dawn. So if you pump out a character on
Yeah.
like your full Dawn turn, you can attach a Rested Dawn to a 5,000 power character, and then a regular Dawn, and then boom, you can stand
Mm-hmm.
2, and then play another thing. I don't know what other support they're gonna come out with, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of potential here actually.
Absolutely. Next up, well, we have a leader that I'm pretty excited for, and that's the Cesar Clown. It's a red blue leader, 4 life, 5,000 power, scientist, and punk hazard. So this one reads when attacking Dawn times 2, you may return one of your punk hazard type characters with a cost of 2 or more to the owner's hand and KO one of your opponent's characters with 4,000 power or less. So just reading it, for me, it kind of gives me some RP Law flashbacks. I'm not gonna lie, right? Right? It's gonna be, it's a removal. It is when attacking. It's a little bit different, but essentially, right, you're balancing something, one of your own characters, unfortunately, but you're gonna be able to get that pop, which I think will be useful, especially with the Monet card that will be going over within next slide here. But just being able to get, removal, right? It being a red leader, you have capabilities. You have access to the Gordons. You have access to the raised maxes again, right? So instead of it being a 4,000 power, you can technically do a 7,000 power,
It
right?
brings the viability back.
Exactly, it brings the viability back. Exactly. So, I think it's gonna be a fun strategy. It being a 4 life leader once again, still gonna have its issues. The fact that you have to attach 2 Dawn is gonna be pretty difficult if you don't have that Monet card that we'll be going over here shortly. But all in all, it seems like a fun strategy. I think it'll be a good time. So just finally breaking over to the Monet card that we're talking about. Um, it's a red character. It's 2 cost with 1,000 power. Punk Hazard and Don't Kill the Pirates. 1 cape counter. It reads activate main. You may rest this character to give up to 2 rested Dawn cards to your leader or one of your characters. Then give up to one of your opponent's characters minus 1,000 power during this turn. So instead of it being a 4,000 power character that you're popping, it's technically a 5,000 power character, right?
Free attachment. Honestly, it's this Monet card actually makes the deck look somewhat viable. Honestly, for 2 Dawn, basically you're getting the leader ability off. Obviously, you have the stipulations. You have to have the card in your hand. The best part about it is your opponent can't touch the Monet at all because you're bouncing it every single time you're playing it. So it helps out instead of these black decks that are able to KO your characters that set up your leader ability actions. It helps out a lot, man.
Yeah, I think the only problem that I really see with this deck is, well, one, you'll have a hard time against black. Um, but two, I think that you're gonna have a hard time establishing board just because you're spending, you know, maybe 2 Dawn to play something out. If it's not the Monet, then you're attaching 2 Dawn, right? That's 4 Dawn, and then you're having to remove that character you just played. So that's the only issue I see. I think Monet is like super good support.
Yeah, it really
Um,
comes down to like if you don't have the Monet, you have a 5 cost Punk Hazard character on board you just established last
yeah,
turn.
Yeah.
You're like, well, I gotta
yeah,
bounce this guy. See you
Exactly.
later. You're gonna
Yeah.
just be using counter fodder next turn.
Exactly. So it's
yeah.
definitely like it. Unless they print more cards that are gonna be similar to this, it's gonna be like a Monet or bust kind of strategy.
Yeah, you're mulliganing strictly
Yeah,
for the
if you don't see
character.
that freaking running
Yeah.
all of the any sort of searchers you can with Monet, right, or just to find it. But all in all, I'd say it's still it's a strategy I'm gonna play.
Yeah, I'm hoping that there's like a 2 cost searcher.
Yeah,
Ooh,
That would be
that would be
that would be
good.
cool.
sick.
That would be fun.
That'd
Yeah.
be fire. I'm all for it.
Like
Give it a
Yeah.
trigger while you're at it. Let it play from top.
a Monet or a Bernu kind of esque searcher.
Or I think they're gonna come
Right.
up with like a good 2K that does something cool. You can bounce back to your hand. I'm
Oh,
sure.
for sure. Yeah.
Oh, that'd be fire. Yeah, maybe like a law or something like that, right? Give us the law. You
Yeah.
could even do law, right? You could still play that.
Oh, you
card.
know what? It could be cool if they came out with a blue, or if they come out with a red Punk Hazard Law character, and it's 7 Warlords of the Sea. You go Jinbei, play the Law, bounce the Law back to KO
Oh.
character. Wouldn't that be kind of
No
cool?
way.
Hey, chill.
Like having access to Jinbei in that deck,
Yeah.
it might be kind of crazy
good
if there's
point.
a 4 cost Law that's red.
Yeah. It's actually
Dang.
It's like for 4 costs, it's like you minus 2k power or minus 2k
Yeah.
power.
like
Ooh,
the
that
And then
could
you're
be
like the film law.
establishing the Jinbei too, so you're
Uh-huh,
getting the
you're
body.
doing
Dang. That'd be dirty.
that would be dirty. You remove a character when you play a character.
Yeah.
Flashbacks to Law. Hold on.
Sorry, you made me cry a little bit. A little tear just fell down my face.
I know Garret got excited with the Jinbei.
Yeah, wait, you're
So wait a
speaking my
second.
language.
So wait a second. Maybe I'm
on.
ready the deck.
Yeah, but no, having access to the blue support too as well. You have Gravity Blade, you have Red Rock, some solid staples in the deck for removal. So it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be cool, and you can run 10 cost Kaido as well. There's a lot of options out there, definitely.
Real quick, we should give a grade to Smoker and to Clown.
Let's
we
do
didn't
Clown
do it.
first.
Yeah. For Clown, I'd give it. It's gonna be inconsistent, but I think it's like a 3. It's like a 3-1.
Yeah.
I'd give
Yeah,
it a three
I give it
two.
I give it a 2.9.
2.9.
Really?
I'm honestly I'm on
Yeah,
that 2.9 train, but if the support, because I remember everyone was talking smack about Shanks, if the support is
Yeah.
nuts,
Yeah.
I think it can get
yeah,
up to a 3.5. I
Uh,
think it can get up to a 3.5, maybe even a 3.7. I can
really?
give it up there.
yeah,
If the support is nice.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised because there's only so many red cards they can print,
Mm-hmm.
and almost maybe 25% of them are always viable of the colors.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah. I mean, yeah,
yeah,
you're not you're right. They're printing what, red smoker stuff, red Cesar Clown stuff, red sugar stuff. So it's like unless like
yeah,
50% of that entire box is gonna be red cards, there's gonna be they have
exactly.
to pick and choose.
yeah. And
Mm.
then Smoker, I probably I feel like Smoker has a lot of potential if it
Mm-hmm.
gets the right support, to be honest. So
Mm.
I want to give it like a 3.7.
Really? Dang. I was gonna say
Yeah.
like three,
Just
four,
I'm
three,
just
five.
assuming it's
Yeah.
gonna get good support.
Fair
Yeah,
enough.
yeah. I put it up at 3.5 for sure.
Yeah,
I
I'd
think there's
agree.
a
Yeah.
lot of potential there.
Go on to Eustass Captain Kid. Um, this this one's kind of like the black sheep of the set. I don't know. I don't know what they were thinking.
This guy's a little
Like,
funky. I can't lie.
He wasn't even there in Dressrosa.
yeah, it has nothing to do with Dressrosa at
Yeah,
all
yeah.
or Punk Hazard.
Uh,
It's just that supernova yellow deck. It's weird, right?
uh,
Uh, but 5 life, supernova kid pirates typing. End of your turn, you may turn the top card of your life cards face up.
facts.
Yeah, up to one of your 3 to 8 cost characters with the supernova type as active. Then that character gains blocker until the end of your opponent's next turn. I don't know. It's just like it's real wordy. I mean,
There's a lot of
okay.
speculation in the air because there's no yellow
Yeah.
supernova stuff right now.
Zero.
Yeah.
Zero.
So
Yeah.
here's my thought process, right? You Yeah, it's totally dependent on support, of course. But you can run stuff like Viola, right? To flip your life face down and keep getting the blocker. So potentially you're just playing out like 6K blockers every turn, 7K blockers. And then, I mean, every yellow deck's going to run Yamato. Well, not every deck, but every generic yellow going to run Yamato, going to run the ace, right? So the top end for yellow in general is kind of crazy. Especially if you're able to stay at like 3, 4 life, you're going to get a lot of value off Yamato.
Mm.
Yeah,
Um,
this
I
deck
think, I
opens up the opportunity
yeah,
for it because of King's blocker.
yeah. I
Mm.
think it's going to play kind of like an L, kind of like a starve deck. Uh, I don't know though. It's super hard to say. I feel like it could go either way. Like it's either going to be garbage
Mm.
or it's going to be just annoyingly good. Like any
Mm.
yellow deck, they got the beige, right? Zero cost event,
Yeah.
ace. Like, it's just annoying. You got the 5 cost Luffy, right? You play that out, trash a life, give it a 8K blocker. I don't know.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
you had the other 5 cost Luffy that can KO. I don't know if that's
That
supernova
one's not
though.
supernova, but they do have a Bonnie promo card. That is a supernova yellow card, and that one reads like if your life is the same as your opponent's, you can add a 4 cost or less from your opponent's field to like their life or something like that.
Hmm.
Yeah, so that one, I mean, like I said, the card pool of this one is just so small right now, and I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, how good is blocker really? Like
right.
how good? I mean, even now decks that I think some decks get away with not even running that many blockers. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Maybe there's
Exactly.
8 blockers that they run in a deck, and it's like that's just enough. But I mean, it may
But
I
come
can
up.
see this deck doing really well against Zoro, but that's about it,
Yeah.
honestly. Swing to a character, clear body, set it as events, or set up as a blocker. That's
Mhm.
about all see for the most part.
Yeah.
I completely agree with though
I,
with Garrett. Like it's gonna be like either not good or it's gonna be like annoyingly good, right?
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's gonna do some like janky stuff. They're gonna get some like busted annoying yellow
You know what
card.
could be
Yeah.
crazy if they got an
Yeah.
8-cost Supernova character, right? That's like has an on block effect that's insane, but the fact that they're
Oh.
not even a blocker could
Yeah.
be crazy. If there's like
Okay.
stuff that has on blocker
Yeah,
capabilities.
like a kid, like another eight
Yeah.
drop kid kind
Or
of
or
is.
even like if it's like a low cost 3-cost character that's like if
Hmm.
this character would be KO'd, heal.
Hmm. Oh yeah.
That
Imagine,
Oh,
would be
true.
crazy.
imagine they could have given Kikunojo blocker.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh.
You know, though, this might come up as a Kikanojo-esque card to come out, though,
Yeah.
probably.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, that'd be so annoying.
What if like the A
Yeah.
cost was like on block heal?
Yeah. Oh, dude.
I could
Yeah.
see it. I could see it now, just like getting those weird support cards. And then
Mm,
I think yellow in general has a pretty generic card pool. Nothing is really leader locked
Mm-hmm.
exactly.
besides like
So
10
you
mom.
still have access to the Capones. You still have
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
access to the Kikanojos if you choose to still use those.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff to pull from. A drop cat, right?
10 drop
Yeah.
ace.
Really, man, this really got me thinking, man. Is what if they got some janky abilities, man, that just
On
on
KOs. It's gonna be the on
KOs,
KOs ones. Yeah, those
and
ones.
then like I could just imagine triggers attached to them as well, just to do some crazy
Uh,
shenanigans, like
yeah.
restand a character, restand one of your characters that's already blocked already. There could be some weird stuff going on.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know.
That internally just makes me want to grade it higher. Just the
Yeah,
fear,
I know.
the fear
the
alone.
fear of it, yeah.
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 But in all reality, though, this could be so bad.
So
Like,
bad. Yeah.
the floor is
Yeah.
so low, the ceiling is really
So
high.
high.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think for that reason, I'm gonna give it
2.5.
what did I give Caesar? A 2.9?
2.9.
Yeah,
Yeah.
2-9, yeah.
I'm gonna give Kid a 3.
You're 3.
Hot take.
I think I'm gonna give him a 3-2 just because he's also
Yeah.
a 5 life leader.
Yeah.
Factual.
We got to take that into account. He's a 5
Mhm.
life leader still, so
Mhm.
Yeah.
there's a lot more room to work with, you know.
Mhm.
Right. Yeah.
Mhm.
And I think just also being able to restand your characters, just to protect them
Yeah.
a little bit is
And
kind of
not even
nice.
and not even just that too is like, oh no, it's at the end of your turn. I thought you could restand and then swing with them again.
Ooh. Yeah, that'd be
Stop
gross.
it. Stop it.
That would have been nuts.
That'd
Oh
be gross.
gosh, could you imagine? Jeez. So yeah, I
Yeah.
would agree. A 3. That 3 is a solid place for it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the one I've been waiting for to talk about today. We got Trafalgar Law, green, yellow, 4 life leader, Heart Pirates, Supernovas, and Dressrosa. Dawn times 1, activate main once per turn. If the total cost of your character, or if the total cost of your character is 5 or more, you can return one of your characters to your hand, reveal the top card of your life, and if it is a Supernova type card or character card with the cost of 5 or less, you can play it. So this one, what's great is you have access to the green Supernova support. So the leader lock stuff such as Cavendish and Basil Hawkins already makes it like this deck seem a little viable potentially. It's a little interesting. The only thing that I feel like could be really bad is the fact that the leader ability takes a life out. There needs to be support that places cards on top of your deck, or on top of your life specifically, to really make this leader viable because it is again a 4 life leader. It's gonna have a combination of the support of the yellow supernovas with that Eustass Kid we saw prior. So there could be some crazy stuff. I don't know. There's a lot of potential here. What do you guys think?
I just want to add the fact that me and GLG Money have we've literally created this leader in our head and we've talked about it in discussion. We were like
Yeah.
straight down to the
Literally.
wire. Literally red. We
Yeah.
said green, yellow. We said it needs a Donna commitment for it. And then you could play, still has a law ability of being able to play stuff off your life. Like it's so funny. Like when we saw that, we were like, "There's no way." But overall,
You know what I thought?
yeah,
You know what I thought it would be though is, and I feel like this would make it so much better, is swapping a card from your field in your life.
Your life.
That's right.
Oh,
That's
If you
gosh,
could,
that'd be so much better.
yeah.
yeah. So like if you could play out like a beige
Mm.
and then use Law's effect to reveal like
God.
a Law or
Yeah,
something or a
Hawkins.
restand or a Cavendish or
Mm.
yeah,
I
play that
mean,
out, put beige
swapping
on
a
your life.
beige with another 5 cost is crazy. That'd be
Yeah,
so sick. That'd be
that would be
so
so
dope.
dirty.
So
Oh my
annoying. God,
gosh.
it's just
That'd
so
be so
toxic.
cool.
That would be really
Yeah,
cool.
but this opens up plays for something we thought about, we talked about was Cavendish, right? It's not
Mm-hmm.
once per turn. You can swing with the Cavendish, and then if they come up with a card that places a character from your field to your life, which I'm assuming they're gonna do, they're gonna have to, they need
Yeah.
to, right? Or if like you can just even 8-drop Cat, bounce it, put it back in your life, and you go Law ability, play it back out, you restand 2 Dom again, and so I think Cavendish, this might make Cavendish skyrocket in price. Honestly,
Mm-hmm.
it's already high up already, so it might make the deck kind of crazy. But I do think there's some options with that you can do, which is pretty exciting. I don't know if there's any other 5 cost. I mean, there is a ton of 5 cost supernovas. You have the Bonnie, you have the X-Drake, you have the. You could also play the Yarouge if you really wanted. I don't think so, just because you don't restand on at the end of your turn. But there's going to be more options, whether it's yellow or green, maybe even Blocker Law.
Yeah, I
For
was just
Yeah,
about to say
Red Green
that.
Law, there could be options like that. We'll see.
Mm. I was thinking
maybe
blocker
the
law.
Rosinante.
Yeah, that too. I was
Mm.
thinking the blocker law could send back a card from your hand, and then you can like play out, the Onami with banish, right? Giving a character banish, right? Um,
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that could be cool. Or there
Um,
could be a sick like yellow green, or not yellow green, yellow 3 cost supernova that could be fire because
mhm.
Eustass Kid goes down to 3 costs, so maybe they got something cool going on there.
yeah, and I think that's where that on KO healing effect would be really nice for both leaders.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it
Yeah,
really
something like
needs
that.
to. It needs that is one big flaw with it as of right now, without any support, is that taking of life, right? That can be
Hmm.
real scary, real fast.
Yeah.
It's just so hard to
So,
tell though because we just don't have any support out right now. We can only just
Exactly.
speculate. But
Exactly.
the
yeah.
one thing I am speculating is some hidden red green law support, man. If they come out with a stage,
Oh
the
God, here
room
it comes.
stage, the room stage, and if its abilities like if a character were to leave if your character with a cost of 2 or less were to leave the field or 3 or less to leave the field by an effect, you can protect it or you can like bounce it and swap it out with another character with a different color. Make it Trafalgar Law lock. You could save Red Green Law from
Oh
getting
my
killed by
gosh.
black. I'm just sick and tired of losing with Red Green Law, man, to black.
Just sick
It's
and
just
tired of
like an
losing.
auto loss. I'm just tired, man. I just want something to come out.
Hmm. Yeah. So
Hmm.
maybe,
That would
maybe.
be that would be interesting.
Mhm. And I do think there's gonna be green law support in this, right?
Throw some green supernova in there,
Exactly,
please.
because the other green leader is what? What was the other green one? The smoker,
Smoker.
right?
Smoker.
So
Hmm.
you know,
There could be another X-Drake to drop. That's Navy Supernova.
yeah,
Oh,
true.
yeah.
That could be
Facts.
spicy.
Facts.
Something like that. Those are options. They can still, yeah, they can just throw a couple green supernovas, huh?
Yeah.
Boost Bonnie. Come
Yeah.
on.
Give a normal green searcher, an on-play searcher,
Just
for
just
supernovas.
bring the support of
Nah,
Ruby alive.
it's
I would
overrated.
I would love a new mechanic that green can remove cards better than just KOing a rested character because
Hmm.
the deck green sucks, man. I'm just gonna say it right now, green's bad. Unless your leader's name Jewelry Bonnie, your deck is bad. No matter what deck you play, I'm sorry.
All those
That's
Green
funny.
Uta players are all gonna come for you in the comment section.
They're still getting smoked by black though. Come on now. You don't see Uta top in at all at time. Come on,
Yeah,
come on.
yeah.
Hate to be the bearer of bad news, but bro, I've been trying for so long,
Yeah.
and Bonnie's the only one that seems to actually kind of work
Mm.
sometimes.
So overall, what would you guys grade this law leader?
I'd say I'd give for on the low end. I think it could potentially be like a 2.5, just because you're ripping your own life, and we don't know what kind of support it has just yet. But it could be upwards to a 3.2. I think it could be a 3.2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. I think that Kid might be a little better. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so I'd put it 2.5 around there.
Yeah. And I'd put it somewhere similar. I'd say, let's take a look, cycle back. So, overall, looking at all the leaders, what do you guys have as the top ranked leader then? If you could rank them all.
Definitely Usopp.
Yeah,
Yeah.
God stop for sure. And
Yeah,
I I think it also helps because it already's got a bunch of support out. The card pool is
yeah,
insane.
Mm-hmm.
So there's
yeah,
just a lot of work to do, and plus you have access to Gecko. Like anybody
Yeah.
that has access to Gecko already makes your deck pretty strong already.
Yep.
Someone's gonna break the format with it.
Mm-hmm.
oh for sure.
Mm-hmm. And
And
then,
this is why Gecko's gonna get banned. I'm calling it right
it's
now.
Usopp,
This
huh?
is why Gecko's gonna get banned.
Or
right now, 'cause
Rebecca.
of
Maybe
Usopp.
Rebecca will.
Yeah, one of the two. They gotta go.
Yeah.
Both, please, preferably. I'm sick of it.
It's a cripple black. So then after Usopp, what would you put next? Kid?
I'd honestly
Smoker?
put Kid. I think Kid
Yeah. After we
has
talked
a
about
lot
it
of
further,
potential.
yeah, after we
Yeah,
talked
Yeah,
about it further, and we kind of like broke it down. I'm like, wait
there's
a
a lot
second.
more potential.
Yeah.
And I
Oh,
think it just comes down
hi.
to the fact that it's a 5 life leader again,
Yeah, absolutely.
I think which is funny too because going into this, I hadn't really thought about Kid, and I thought it was one of the worst.
Mm-hmm.
And now that we talked about it,
Yeah.
start
Yeah.
thinking about what it can
Yeah.
do. I'm like,
Right.
oh man,
Yeah.
yeah,
Actually.
Yeah, there's just way too many like possibilities out there
Yeah.
that they can do.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Someone will make a list that's
Mm-hmm.
nasty.
Yeah. And like I said, the was it the possible support this can card or this leader can get is nasty. Right? Any
Hmm.
on KO kind of stuff that we were talking about. Oh man, that could be dirty.
Just because like redirecting is it's pretty good, man. Redirecting the blocker,
Yeah,
it's pretty nice.
yeah.
Especially put out those big bodies, right? Those 8
Hmm.
costs that are gonna be, I imagine that are gonna be prevalent in this deck.
For the next leader, yeah, what do you? I'm thinking it's either between Cesar Clown or Smoker. I think I'm maybe leaning towards Cesar Clown. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah,
Tough to
I
say.
think
Yeah, between those two,
any
definitely.
kind of early game removal
Mm-hmm.
will make Smoker have a really hard time
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Hmm.
if they're not able to reach that threshold and like kind of get their momentum going. Similar to like I was saying, like Odin,
Mm-hmm.
um, it'll have a hard time. But I think Clown doesn't necessarily need it. Like it could kind of run itself if it has nothing good to play.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we'll see. I want to say I think I rated Caesar lower maybe,
Mm-hmm.
but I actually want to say that I think Caesar probably has slightly more
A little bit more
potential.
of an edge. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that the fact
Yeah.
that just that removal,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Smoker's not gonna have any removal. Caesar Clown will have removal to where it helps him from not dying as quick as Smoker would,
Mm-hmm.
unless they come
Yeah.
with some kind of forms of removal within the Green Navy or the Punk Hazard combination together. Just the fact that it also can pilot by itself. It has no other requirements to remove besides bouncing a Punk Hazard, whereas Smoker needs a 7,000 power character
Yeah.
to do his thing.
Mm-hmm. And once you see
Yeah.
that Monet, you're never, you're always gonna have it essentially, unless you get like
Yeah.
puddinged.
Let's get pudding, but like that's just against blue, right?
Yeah,
Oh, you can
exactly.
overrun pudding in Caesar Clown.
Oh yeah,
Hold
that's it.
on,
Yeah, you can run pudding
yeah,
with Caesar
another
Clown.
staple.
Also too, yeah, but I do see some like flaws in it because red and blue, it's a really weird combination, right? It's,
Yeah.
one's cost reliant, one's power reliant, and it kind of just sometimes it feels kind of clunky. Just coming from a
Hmm.
Marco background.
And I guess the same thing goes for red and green.
Yeah,
One's
absolutely.
resting characters. Maybe if you can set up where you rest a character and minus it down and then kill it,
Yeah.
that's probably the only thing I can see kind of synergy wise for it.
Which is kind of funny, right? Because like every other color in the game is cost, and then red is power.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
like
like
mixing red with anything
It just feels
feels
off.
hard.
Unless
Yeah.
it's, red purple, right? Where you're ramping
Yeah.
and
Red purple
right.
law.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's probably the only
Yeah,
one.
ramping,
Yeah.
you're still doing
Yeah.
stuff. But yeah, like you're
Yeah.
saying, it just feels weird, you know. It
Hmm.
does not feel right.
Yeah.
And then so yeah, I'd say yeah, Caesar's gonna go Smoker, and then after that, I imagine we put Law
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
Law and then
Law,
sugar.
yep.
exactly. Law and Sugar. I think Law's floor is just way too low
Mm,
right now. Just the leader ability, just the way it operates.
And it's
It's a
gonna
little
take a
risk,
big brain.
mm,
definitely. Hmm.
Yeah.
yep. So get to
I
work
don't think it'll
again.
be easy to pilot.
Yeah.
Sequencing is going to be really odd, probably,
Yeah.
Yeah.
for them to just do anything at all. But there's a lot of potential for it to be really good too. It could even be better than Kid for all we know.
Yeah.
Just depends on what we got
Yeah.
going on with the yellow support.
Mm,
Yeah. I could see it being one of those decks that like not a lot of people play,
mm,
but the people that play it do well.
yeah.
You know?
Mhm. It's
First
like
kid,
a
I
red
feel like will
yellow
be easy.
Sabo, esque like that when it's in
Yeah.
Yeah,
form.
yeah, yeah.
Like you see a little bit here and there, like it's good, but it's
Mm,
just
yeah.
Yeah.
nothing too special.
But yeah, Sugar's the worst by far. I think it has zero support. So
Mm,
that alone, I mean, you could only get so much support in one set.
Mhm.
And then the effect just being kind of a gimmick.
Yeah,
Um,
it's
yeah,
asking for a lot to do so little. You know.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's not. It doesn't seem like anything. It doesn't even seem like the leader ability helps the deck at all. Um,
Yeah,
in any way, like I see the idea of ramping, but then you can just run another deck that ramps probably better than that. Or there's infinitely more leaders that run purple that can ramp better than that.
mm,
yeah. It reminds me of Laker Croc,
mm,
Yeah.
you
yeah.
know.
Mhm.
So I don't know. Maybe Laker Croc had its run.
Yeah. Somebody
Not
might figure
terrible.
something out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The deck sounds like it's supposed to be built for late game, but red is not a late game color. That's more of a mid range to early game color. So
yeah,
I don't know what they were thinking on that combination. They should have done honestly, blue purple. Honestly, they should have done that instead.
Mm,
That would have been probably 10 times better.
mm,
yeah,
And then you have that because then you could have used the blue Don Quixote pirate stuff too, like the 3 cost blocker Dofi. You could have run the
yeah,
7 cost Dofi. There's some more Don Quixote pirate stuff in there, and it's just
yeah,
like, why would you pick red?
yeah. There's the Vanilla Virgo.
there you
It's
go.
it's it's Punk Hazard and Don Quixote Fire.
There you
Ah,
go.
Yeah.
This president use that. Hey, there you go. Caesar support. So yeah.
Uh,
So guys, that's everything that we have. Any other final remarks?
I just say
no,
I'm
that's
just
it.
excited. I'm
Yeah.
excited. This is gonna be interesting. A lot of old decks are getting support too as well. So I'm hoping this propels some of those old decks like E-Show, Blue Black Rebecca, even Purple Green Doflamingo. I'm hoping some of those come back a little bit
Hmm.
and see the format again.
Red Green Law.
Nah, probably
Mhm.
not. But one can only hope, but probably not.
Yeah,
No.
exactly. It needs some stuff. So yeah, I'd say that's everything. Thank you guys for watching. Really appreciate all the love and support you guys been giving us. Let us know, what you think is the best leader. Always looking to see maybe when more support gets released, we'll maybe do a follow up or something along those lines. So just tune in. We got more content coming your guys' way, and as always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend, and GLG out.